निर्मल माँ, हे निर्मल माँ, हे निर्मल माँ, हे निर्मल माँ, तेरा प्यार मोक्ष का आनंद है माँ। हे निर्मल माँ, हे निर्मल माँ, हे निर्मल माँ, हे निर्मल माँ, तेरा प्यार मोक्ष का आनंद है माँ। तू स्वर की देवी, ये संगीत तुझसे, हर शब्द तेरा है, हर गीत तुझसे। तू स्वर की देवी, ये संगीत तुझसे, हर शब्द तेरा है, हर गीत तुझसे। हम पार सहज में तेरी कृपा से, हम पार सहज में तेरी कृपा से, निर्मल विद्या का वरदान दे माँ। हे निर्मल माँ, हे निर्मल माँ, हे निर्मल माँ, हे निर्मल माँ, तेरा प्यार मोक्ष का आनंद है माँ। देवों ने समझे, मुनियों ने जाने, चैतन्य की भाषा पुराणों की बानी। देवों ने समझी, मुनियों ने जानी, चैतन्य की भाषा पुराणों की बानी। साधक समझे, मानव ये जाने, साधक समझे, मानव ये जाने, ये अनमोल घड़ियाँ, ये अवतार तेरा। हे निर्मल माँ, हे निर्मल माँ, हे निर्मल माँ, हे निर्मल माँ, तेरा प्यार मोक्ष का आनंद है माँ। तू आदिशक्ति सहस्त्रार विराजे, चैतन्य लुटाए, सतयुग जगाए। तू आदिशक्ति सहस्त्रार विराजे, चैतन्य लुटाए, सतयुग जगाए। विश्व की जननी तू महादेवी, विश्व की जननी तू महादेवी, तेरा पुत्र बनने की पात्रता दे माँ। हे निर्मल माँ, हे निर्मल माँ, हे निर्मल माँ, हे निर्मल माँ, तेरा प्यार मोक्ष का आनंद है माँ। तेरा प्यार मोक्ष का आनंद है माँ। तेरा प्यार मोक्ष का आनंद है माँ। A very warm welcome to all of you in our session this morning. There's been some slight delays, so we'll try to cover up things. Just for the information of people who have joined the session, we are having these sessions daily, thrice, one in the morning at 8 a.m., one in the afternoon at 4:15, and one in the evening at 7:45 p.m. All these sessions are in Hindi except for one on Saturday morning in Marathi and one on Sunday morning in English. For seekers who requested to understand Sahaja basics in their own language. Apart from this, we also have one session at 5:30 p.m. in the evening for seekers who have now understood the basics of Sahaja and want to go deeper into meditation. All these sessions are again on the same YouTube channel and Zoom link, so people can join wherever they like. And at the end, if you have any questions or suggestions or you just want to talk about something, you can do that by joining the Zoom link or leaving your queries on the YouTube chat. So let's start the session this morning. What we will do is briefly talk about what is Sahaja, what do we get out of it, why to do this particular type of meditation as we understand it, what do we get out of it. And then we'll briefly also touch upon our internal subtle system and then go for the meditation experience, which is the most important bit. So, just to talk about our current lives and predicaments and why people are searching for something like Sahajog or spirituality, or they're turning towards something that gives them some peace and bliss. So most people who come to Sahajog, if you ask them, why are you coming here? So there are various problems that people come up with, and they could be even health-related problems. People have several diseases that they want to get rid of, which medical science has not been able to do. There are people, many people, I think, they talk about stress in their lives. And this stress could be because of so many problems that they have. We'll come upon that in a bit right now. Then there are people who talk about um, just problems with their families, or they have some bad habits and something like that. If you look at it at the end of the day, people are all suffering from some thing that doesn't give them peace, essentially. Things that are causing them stress and tensions, and there's so many things. For students or young folks, it's about the competition that they're facing, let's say. In their lives, there's so much that is around them. And the exams and jobs and careers and so many things that people are running after and then getting stressed. All of these things and tensions is what people really want to get rid of when they come for something that is of spiritual nature, let's say. Now, when we talk of stress, we don't really know what it is and how is it coming to us. We are essentially all the time under some or other stress. What does that mean? We have these wants and desires, and then we worry about them. So, what does that mean? We're all the time thinking, all the time planning, all the time moving in that pendulum of you know, asking for something, searching for something, and then not getting it, and the depression related to that, and all of that comes in. So, either we are planning all the time that I want to do this, I want to do that, and then if we achieve it, then we plan further. We are never satisfied. We are always fighting for it. If we don't achieve it, we turn into depression and things like that. And then all of this leads us to even getting into bad habits in lives, which cause further problems to us. And we cannot see a way out. People, especially in the working class, and they're doing their businesses or something like that, they say that there's no way out for us other than taking to smoking, drinking, and all of those things. All these things come to us because we have taken to a life that causes all of this tension and stress to us. And we're all the time we are in that mode of thinking, planning, and there's no way out that we can see. Now, how to get out of it? And it's easier said than done. People say that don't take pressure in life, don't do this, don't do that, just relax, be with your family, be with yourself, give yourself time. You don't need all of this. And we hear all of that gyan and then nothing goes in because at the end of the day, we must achieve, we must prove ourselves, and all of that is there. So words do not do it. Then we take to things like maybe getting health focused or spending time, maybe let's say, on things that soothe us, calm us, maybe music or some art form or something like that. That does give us temporary sort of relief from things. But we still are living in that same world, and none of it can get us out of the mire that the world is, which will always pull us down on the things that we give a lot of value to right now. Now, to think of what is it that can get us sort of rid of all of this tension and stress truly is something that is very innate. That is when we turn to spirituality. So people try everything. They get the best of jobs. They have most amount of money that you can think of, which is what we are sort of running after, most of us. And they have everything in life. And still you go and ask the richest man around you, they will all be under stress, actually. They will not be happy with their lives. They will not have the peace and joy that you would think that they must have now because they've achieved everything. The thing is that, as it is said in economics, that wants are not satiable in general. We desire something today, we achieve it, then we desire something else, then something else, then something else. You have a car, you want a helicopter, you want a jet, and it never ends. So that is when we realize that all of this will not give us the joy that we are looking out for. Right now, we don't know it. Right now, we think that running after all of this will give us what we really want. And it's easier said for people who also already have it, maybe, or people are just giving a scan. Don't run out after all of this. But there is a way to short circuit that. You go after all of this, then you ruin your lives or health, and you still don't get the happiness and peace that you were looking out for. Rather than doing all of that and then coming to a conclusion that this is not the right path for me, we can, in fact, do this right now. There is an easy way also. You can look at the people who have achieved it, or you can look at the Western world who has achieved it. And there, if you go and look at them very closely, you'll realize that the value system, family system, all of that has been lost. And there's no personal rapport among people. I myself lived in Europe for some time for my studies and even for my job. And I came to know the stark difference that we have. That is because in our great country, there has been a tradition of spirituality, and some of it still lives among people. There is a knowledge that is passed down very secretively of how to get yourself out of this madness that is all around you. And thus, there are people who always have talked about spirituality in our country, although we have not been really able to understand what they're saying. The problem is that they were all born on a different level from us. And their words were so sharp and precise that even then we could not understand them, and even today we cannot. And to come to a logical conclusion about what is right, what is wrong, it's been very difficult. Today, people have understood that we must turn to spirituality, and they are searching. Never before in the history of humanity, so many people have been on the lookout for spirituality. And that is the result of the madness around. It's called as Ghor Kalyug because the toughest of times, we have not heard of such things happening in human history before that had happened now. And all of that leads us to it pushes us to search for something higher. We just cannot continue in the same way. All of that pushing has led us to searching, and that searching, when what was there, people came into the market and they said that yes, we have the solution. Because whenever there's a demand, there's a supply. And in that, many wrong things also came up. And in the name of meditation and spirituality and so many things, so many wrong people became great gurus and godmen, and they have so-called gurus and godmen, and they have ruined the search even further. So today, if a young person like me or you or people who are watching, if they go out and say that, I'm doing this and this meditation, and most people would tell them, oh, you must be, caught up with something wrong again. Like there are so many out there. This is further increasing the confusion. But it's very easy to say that, everything is wrong. But if you look at it, most plastic flowers, if they are made in the image of something that is real out there. Similarly, in spirituality, there are many wrong things out there, but there is something that is real as well. And all of these wrong things are trying to imitate, but don't have the real scent of a flower in them. Now, to talk about Sahaja Yoga and what it gives us and how it is differentiated. Sahaja Yoga the term was coined by Shree Mataji Nirmala Devi, whose photograph you can see behind me in 1970, which is when she started the work of giving realization to people. Saha means with, Ja means born, something that is so innate that it is born with you. It is something that has been created inside us as human beings. We talked of these great horrible times, where humanity is today. Everybody can understand that, the news that we keep reading daily leads us to think that this cannot be the world, that if there is a God, he had planned us for like this. So he has in fact built a mechanism inside us, which if awakened, the energy, then we can get to our last breakthrough. That breakthrough will give us the complete, the integration, the last breakthrough of a revolution, which will give us the peace and bliss that we are looking out for. Not just personally, but collectively, it can be possible. It all sounds quite amazing and quite unbelievable, but it is true. That is how we have been made already, and we don't know it. We are all the time looking at the science outside and the world outside. This is the knowledge of the roots of this tree that we see outside. This is the knowledge of our inside. And it is the great heritage of our country. It has been searched for and talked about in our country by great sages and rishis and munis. So this is something that has been built in within us. And now, as normal people, we will think that these great sages and rishis and munis, they used to go to the Himalayas and hills and dales and then do meditation, and that's how we'll also do. That's not true. And we cannot do it in this modern age and time. That is why Sahaj Yoga is different today. The word yoga means the union with the divine, of ourself with the divine. That is when we get connected with this all pervading power of love of God that we can call, which does everything, which does the work of turning a flower into a fruit, which does the work of our digestion, breathing, everything, of everything around us. We get connected to that for the first time. And when that happens, that is when we get a cool breeze flowing through us, which we feel on our nervous system, in our hands, at the palm. We feel that. And for the first time, we know that there is truly a God. How we feel that, how it is differentiated, and how we figure that out, we'll get to know more. But just to understand, this is something that has been described again in many scriptures and religions. It has been called as Param Chaitanya by Adi Shankaracharya. Salilam Chaitanya you will feel when you meditate. been called as the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost in Bible. It has been called as Ruh. And Quran it is said that when Qiyamah's time will come, your hands will speak. All of that description is there, and all of the references are in place. But it says that we don't know about it yet. Now, what we'll do is quickly talk about our internal subtle system and how we are built inside. Then we'll go for the meditation session. We are all built in the same way, in fact. You would have seen this chart now at several places, different formats by now. It's become very commonplace now. People know of chakras inside us. But just to talk a little bit about it, and so that we can go for meditation after that. There is a power that created us. That is an assumption that we must take, a hypothesis that we all must accept for now. And if it is proven right, then we'll take to it seriously. But there is a power that created us. When we were in our mother's womb, this power entered from our fontanelle bone area at the very top of our head. And from there, it entered. We know that in children, that's a soft spot. It even pulsates in very little toddlers, if you'll see. So, this is the spot from where it enters. And our brain is a prism shaped entity. So, this energy refracts into three parts here. And when it does that, it creates on the left hand side a channel called as Ida Nadi. The one that goes to the right is the Pingla Nadi. One in the center creates these center like these flower like centers that we call them. And the residual energy it comes down. So after all of this creation, the energy that is left, it comes down. And at the very end of our spine, there is a bone called as sacrum bone, where it comes and resides. It forms coils, which is why it is called as Kundalini. In Sanskrit, Kundal means coils. And this is our mother energy, actually. She's our individual mother. She's been with us all our lives, all past lives, and she knows everything, each and everything about us. So that is why she's called as Kundalini. And very interestingly, as you mentioned, the bone is called as sacrum bone, which means something sacred. So the Greeks named this bone sacrum. They probably knew something about it as well. Now, this energy it comes and settles down. Awakening of this energy, this Kundalini, is what is yoga, self-realization, whatever you may call it by the great things we have heard so much about now. And awakening of this Kundalini again and piercing through the spot where it entered from the Sahasrara chakra is self-realization. Unless and until this is done, you should not accept anybody as a guru or as a spiritual master. One who is a spiritual master is the authority who can do it for you, who can raise your Kundalini. We have heard reference of this also in Ramayana, if you've seen the old Ramayana of Raman Sagar, where Sri Ram's guru, he raises the Kundalini of his students and tells them about these chakras and all. Now, to understand on the gross side, what is it really? What are all these channels and nadis? So these nadis in the subtle is what we have heard of. On the gross, they are represented as our sympathetic nervous system, which is really everything about us. Sympathetic is what we know, what we do through our nervous system. All of that is governed by these channels. And on the gross, again, these centers that we look at, these flower like things, are represented on the gross as our plexuses. And if somebody's from the medical field, they would know what plexuses are, but they essentially govern all our hormones, everything in our body. And that is how these channels and chakras form the basis of our being physically, that we've talked about, but also mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So we exist on all of these planes, let us say. And these chakras and nadis are what govern us. If something is wrong with us on any of these levels, these chakras would be affected by them. In meditation, we can know what chakra is not right. So today, what happens is that we go to the doctor's place, and then he does some tests, and he tells you that, oh, you have only few months left to live. You have, this cancer or something. So we don't know anything about ourselves, and everything is so relative. Today, I can say, oh, I'm not stressed, whereas inside, I'm always thinking all of that is happening. Or somebody can say, I'm stressed, and I can say, oh, I'm stressed more. I'm in this problem. I'm in that problem. Everything is so relative in this world, which tells us, actually, it brings us to a conclusion to say that everything is okay. Even doing that is okay, or because that person is suffering from this. Doing wrong things are justified by the spiritual world. For the first time, we know for sure this knowledge comes to us of our subtle system on our fingertips, on our hands with meditation. And we also know about others. We can know what is wrong with the person. We can know if the person standing in front of us is a crook or a saint. Up until now, there has been no way for us to know. We cannot fathom out this knowledge. Let's say, even if God, whomever we worship, comes and stands in front of us, will not be able to know because we do not have the eyes to see. Awakening of this Kundalini and getting the realization gives us that knowledge on our fingertips and our hands. And we open ourselves to a completely new world. And that is how we know for sure, and we don't live in the relative world anymore. Now, just to briefly talk about these nadis and what does that mean? So, our lives are, we are all the time thinking. We are thinking even when we are awake and even when we are sleeping. These thoughts never stop. And these thoughts are the major cause of most of our problems. But what are we thinking if we think about it? We are all the time thinking either of the past or of the future. One thought rises, it falls down. Another thought rises, it falls down. And this is a like a sine wave that we look at in physics. We have heard of it. So there's a crest and there's a drop. So from one crest to another, to another, to another, to another. We are all the time jumping on thoughts on these cusps. And we don't even know when one thought has ended and another started. This is all the time going on. But if you look at it, there are two types of thoughts. One is of the past. Oh, this has happened to me. I wish I would have done that. I could have achieved that in my life, etc., etc. One is of the future. I will do this. I will say that to the person. I'll do that, etc., etc. It just goes on and on. So these thoughts come from the left and right channel inside us. On the left hand side that you see in the blue color, that is the Ida Nadi, which is the channel of our past. Everything that is Gat past is stored here on this channel. People who are thinking of the past all the time, they are working on this channel too much. Also, very emotional people are working on this channel a lot because our emotions emanate from the left channel. This takes care of our sympathetic nervous system on the left hand side. Also, this channel is called as the moon channel. Now, in Sahaja, we understand that excess of anything leads to various problems. So, excess of going to the left hand side will lead to several diseases that are called as incurable diseases, psychosomatic diseases, which all can be put right in meditation if we come to a balance. Similarly, on the right hand side, in the yellow that we see, is the channel that is called as the Pingla Nadi. This Pingla Nadi is the channel of our future. Also, it's the channel of our actions. So the left was the past, right is the future. Left was emotions, right is action. Left was, let's say, depression and feeling bad for oneself. I am this, that. Right is aggression. So people who are on the right hand side, that is on the right channel a lot, they, this being the sun channel, they are, the heated up people, aggressive people who are all the time futuristic, also thinking of the future, very ambitious people. They all work on this channel a lot. and they develop several diseases because of that. We feel the status of this left and right channel on our palms in meditation. Now, in the center is the path for Kundalini to rise. This is our internal, this is the mother energy that we talked about, raising of this Kundalini and it piercing through all of these chakras gives us the balance of our life, and all of these chakras and nadis are put right, and we get connected with the divine. Now, why is it even important? Let's come to that. So, let's say we have made an instrument, a very complicated instrument, and it was supposed to work. Let's say it was a radio transmitter or something like that. It's been made with all hard work, all the wiring system and everything is put in order. But unless it is put to the mains, it is of no use. Our case is similar today. We have been made very beautifully by God, and we have been then given a choice to choose the kind of life that we want. Many people choose to turn to various wrong things, and many people then do turn to spirituality. When we turn to spirituality and we get connected, when Kundalini is awakened in reality, that is when it's like plugging in the cord. That is when the true purpose of our life, the true meaning comes out. And that is how we become fully satisfied. So the Kundalini rises through this central path that is shown here, which is called as the Sushumna Nadi. We have heard of, at least in Buddhism, that you must have a balanced life, keep to the center. What does that even mean? So this is the meaning of that. If you have a balanced life, a balanced personality, you get to it very easily. So it's not the well-read people or very, sophisticated people or high-ranking people or very poor people and very depraved people or all these extremes. They need to be brought into center first. Then they get their realization. Normal people living in their households, living their normal lives, or not in any sort of extremes, they get their realization very easily in Sahaja. So there are these various centers, and today in paucity of time, we will not touch upon their qualities or their deities also. But I'll just give you a brief about what this means. These chakras, as we talked about, govern our physical, mental, emotional beings, and the organs around these chakras are governed by them as well. Now, there are various deities all inside us. In Hindu religion, we know that millions of deities are there. They're all various aspects of one God only, but they reside on all of these chakras and they take care of these chakras. And there are various qualities to these chakras and reasons why they may got up. In Sahajog, all of that knowledge is freely available and it is very, very relatable. Um, I'll give you one example. The Swadhisthana chakra that we see in yellow, the second chakra, you'll see that the right channel starts from it. And the right channel we talked about was of the future. So people who are always thinking and planning, working too much in their offices or about anything in their life, they are using up this channel a lot. And when we think from our brain, we actually think that we are thinking from our brain, but the brain needs these gray cells to think. These gray cells are in fact provided by the fat cells in our stomach. This conversion is done by Swadhisthana chakra. Swadhisthana chakra does this work of conversion, which allows us to think. But Swadhisthana chakra is also responsible for taking care of our pancreas, spleen, liver, uterus in women, so many things. So people who are all the time thinking, their Swadhisthana poor thing has to do only this work. It's not able to take care of these organs around. That is when people develop liver troubles. You'll find that people who are very, very stressed, working 24 hours a day, they will develop liver troubles. People who are thinking, planning all the time too much, they may be the ones who get diabetes, etc. Today it's so common. Almost all of us are in that zone. But when you put the center right, into balance and meditation, these things can be put right also. So this is how these various centers are inside us, and they relate to our self, our personality. The personality that we are today are defined by these chakras, and they have their places on our palms. So the five fingers, one, two, three, four, five, the center of our palm, and the bottom of our palm. You can see the numbers are mentioned here. These are the places of these chakras inside us. And when we go in meditation, we feel the status of these chakras. That is how we know that this is not okay and this is okay. So that's our self diagnosis that we'll do when we meditate. And then there are ways and methods to put them all right also. So this is a great knowledge, completely freely available. And there are thousands of lectures, Shree Mataji, where she explains most of it. And even joining in our sessions, you can learn more and more about them. We have some sessions where we talk about each chakra, and then meditation also done on chakras so that you can improve them. Once all of this is done, that is when you get that peace and bliss. And whatever you do in life in that peace and bliss, you do it very beautifully. You get that power to nurture yourself and put yourself in a position where you can handle anything in life. And even the problems in your life that you have, the so called problems, once this power starts flowing through you, we're talking of getting connected with the divine power here. It's really no joke. This is a very big thing that we're talking about. You can learn to use this power to solve those problems. Just by moving your hands, all of this can be happen. So this amazing, unbelievable thing happens inside us when we get our self-realization. And there are so many things that you will learn later on in Sahaja, how to use that. Now we'll move towards meditation. There is there are some steps that we do to get into meditation. Even though it is spontaneous, it is sahaj. We first must need some balance inside for this to happen inside us. We are made out of five elements. We all know this. And using these elements, we put ourselves into balance. And there are various other methods that we will see later on in Sejal. But just now, there are a few steps that you can do. So these steps would be coming on the screen now. Um, in the first step, we'll put the left hand open in our lap and put the right hand on the mother earth. Ayush, if you can put the charts for that. So while the chart comes up, I'll just speak about it. Yeah, it is here. So this is the first step where we put the left hand open in our lap, and we'll do these steps later on with our eyes closed. But just see for now, there are a few steps. So we'll put the left hand open in our lap and right hand on the mother earth. This we do to balance our Ida Nadi, the left channel. Then we'll bring the right hand back into our lap and put the left hand bent from the elbow towards the sky. This second step is being done for our right channel, Pingla Nadi now. Aish, the chart has not moved for me at least. Yes. So this is how we'll do it for the right channel. And in the third step, we'll put both the hands on the Mother Earth. So these three steps are for balancing ourselves. After this, we'll keep the left hand open in our lap and use the right hand only. The right hand will place it on our heart and press it here. So the right hand will be placed on our heart like this. We'll have some prayers here. After this, we'll place this hand like this on our forehead across and press it from both the sides and bend our head forward a little like this. Then we'll place this hand at the back of our head and push back our head like this. After this, in the last step, we will place our right hand, fingers completely outstretched, the center of our palm, at the top of our head, which is a fontanel bone area. This was a soft bone when we were kids on top of our head. And this is the last chakra of Sahasrara as well, the Brahmarandra. Brahmarandra, the hole to meet the Brahma, literally it means that. Here we'll place it and move it in a clockwise direction like this. While pressing, we'll move it in a clockwise direction. These are all the steps to be done. And now we'll do these steps with our eyes closed. One very important aspect of this is that you cannot get self realization on your own. Someone has to give it to you. This is a precondition. Only an enlightened candle can enlighten another candle. But when it is enlightened, it can enlighten many candles. So Shree Mataji is here to give it to us. Her photograph is very special. And we know that up until now, the realized souls have never been captured in camera. This has been possible with Shree Mataji. And her photograph emits those vibrations, which makes it possible for us to get our realization. Again, we take it with the as a hypothesis right now. But considering that it is true, we look at her photograph with utmost respect. We will be humbled down inside with the only thought that I want my self realization and nothing else. We will look at Shamataji's photograph and slowly close our eyes, keeping our hands open in our lap, and we'll sit a little straight, not very straight, not slouching. The eyes closed, we'll just look inside what is happening there right now. We shall keep the left hand open in our lap as is, and put the right hand on the Mother Earth. So now we are doing the steps that we had just seen. We will pray here that Mother, please take out all the impurities and negativities from my left channel, Ida Nadi, through the Mother Earth. Mother, please take out all the impurities of my Ida Nadi through the Mother Earth. We'll see what is happening on our palm, the left hand side. Now we'll bring the right hand back into our lap and put the left hand bent from the elbow towards the sky. Here, We will pray, Mother, please take out all the imbalances and impurities of my Pingla Nadi through the ether element. Mother, please take out all the negativities and impurities and imbalances of my Pingla Nadi through the ether element. We'll keep our attention on our palms as well and see what is happening here. Now we'll place both the hands on the Mother Earth, wherever we are sitting, and pray, Mother, please bring me into complete balance. Please bring me into the center, into the present, into balance. Whatever impurities are still left from my Ida and Pingla nadis, please take them out through the Mother Earth. Now we'll bring both the hands back into our lap and keep the left hand open in our lap as is, and place the right hand on our heart. We'll press it here. Now, while pressing, we will assert a truth. Mother, I am the pure spirit. Your Kundalini mother inside is very happy to hear that because she knows that you're looking for your self realization. So, what is the self? It is the spirit. That is the only eternal thing. Rest all is temporary, momentary. So, it is the truth that we have to assert that I'm not this body, mind, thoughts, this personality, these problems. All of this is a myth. I am the pure spirit. We'll say it with full confidence that I am the pure spirit. Mother, I am the pure spirit. Now, as I am the pure spirit, I am not guilty at all. Feeling guilty is very detrimental to one of our chakras. And because of that, we don't feel the vibrations also. So leave the judgment of ourselves to the divine and not judge or think of anything that we may have done. This is all a drop against the ocean of love and forgiveness that is God Almighty. So we'll say that I am not guilty at all. Mother, I am not guilty at all. Mother, I am not guilty at all. Now we'll place this right hand on our forehead across and bend our head forward a little. Here, you have to forgive everyone. Without remembering anybody's name, just have to say, Mother, I forgive everyone. And just forgive. By not forgiving, we don't do anything. We play into the hands of people who have done wrong with us. But by forgiving, we let the divine decide. So we say that, Mother, I forgive everyone, myself included. Mother, I forgive everyone. Now we'll place this hand at the back of our head where we place the pillow. and push back our head towards the sky. Once we have to say here, that, oh God, if I've done any mistakes against you, knowingly or unknowingly, please forgive me. Oh God, if I've done any mistakes against you, knowingly or unknowingly, please forgive me. Now we'll place this right hand at the top of our head on the fontanelle bone area, which was a soft bone when we were kids, and place the center of our palm at that bone and push back our fingers completely. We'll bend our head forward, and while pushing the hand on the fontanelle bone, we'll move it so that our scalp moves along in a clockwise direction. We'll move the center of our palm on the fontanelle bone in a clockwise direction so that the scalp moves along. We'll keep doing this in a clockwise direction. Here we must ask for it. Without us asking for it, we cannot get our realization. And we have to be very humble about it because we are asking for the highest of the highest here. Mother, please give me my self realization. Mother, please give me my self realization. Mother, please give me my self realization. Mother, please give me my Atma Sakshatkar. Mother, please give me my yoga, my union with the divine. Mother, please give me my self realization. Mother, please give me my self realization. Stop moving the hand and bring it back into our lap. We keep both the hands open in our lap. We place our attention at the top of our head where we have placed the hand just now and sit for a few seconds quietly in meditation. There are no thoughts right now. This is the state of thoughtless awareness. We will bring our hand, attention on our hands, on our palms, the center of our palms, and see there's a cool breeze coming out of our hands. It can be a very subtle feeling, so we'll have to look at it very minutely. Could be in one hand or both the hands. You may also be getting hot vibrations right now, which is okay. Now we'll bring the attention to the tips of our fingers. In one or two fingers, in one hand or both the hands, you may be getting some tingling or unpleasant sensations. It's because these chakras are not okay right now inside us. Now we'll bring the right hand at the top of our head, above the fontanelle bone area, 2-3 inches above, and move it front, back, left, right. From a particular place, we'll feel the cool breeze coming out and touching our palm. We'll move the hand. Again, it is a very subtle feeling, so we'll look at it very minutely. We'll see the same thing from our left hand now. Right hand can be brought back into our lap. We'll place the left hand just a few inches above our fontanelle bone area. Move the hand back, forth, left, right. We'll feel maybe cool or hot coming out of our head and touching our palm. Again, a very subtle feeling. Now we'll, in the last step, put the both hands completely stretched towards the sky, elbow straight, and palms open towards the sky. We'll ask one of these three questions thrice. Oh God, is this the all pervading power that does everything? Is this Param Chaitanya? Is this the divine energy, cosmic energy? Any question we'll ask three times. Hands completely stretched up, head pushed back. Now we'll bring the hands back into our nap and keep our attention once again at the top of our head. For a few seconds, sit in meditation. We'll slowly open our eyes and look at Shrimati's photograph and bring both our hands together in a namaskar to thank Srimataji and our Kundalini mother inside for this blissful experience. You must know that this is like the sprouting of a seed. This thoughtless awareness that we achieved was the very first step. Establishing this and getting deep into Sahaja so that we know all about ourselves and all about using this power that starts flowing through us is our main responsibility now. We must meditate daily for 5-10 minutes in the morning and the evening at home. There is a foot soaking process that must be done as well to keep ourselves clean and keep the stress and tension out. Also, once in a week, we do daily meditation in centers around us. All the major cities and towns and villages have centers now of Sahaja, which you can attend. And you can know more by joining our WhatsApp group, etc. The links for which have been put in the YouTube chat. Ayush, if you want to talk about the sessions or something, please go ahead. I believe there are no questions today.
Jaishwant, there are no questions. So we can end this session here. Thanks, Shree Mataji, for this beautiful realization session. And here we end our session. Jaishwant.
Ayush, somebody has asked for Zoom link here on the YouTube chat. Um, have you put the all the links on the chat so that people can join the WhatsApp group also?
I request them to they can join our WhatsApp group and get our Zoom link in our description box. We have shared our Zoom link and WhatsApp chat group link also in our description box. so they can join by using those things from there.
Perfect. Let's end the session for today. Jai Shri Mataji. Thank you so much, Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji. Thank you, Shri Mataji.